Sarah and Alex have been dating for several months and have a seemingly strong relationship. However, Sarah starts to notice that Alex has been distant and spending more time on his phone than usual. One day, while using Alex's phone to search for a recipe, she comes across a message from his ex-girlfriend, Emily.
A few weeks ago, my life started to fall apart. Our evening had started off like a regular boring night in our house. It was after 8 p.m. and I was in the living room, scrolling through my phone, while Alex was in the kitchen making himself a nightcap. There were some calls that had been bothering me, so I asked him about it. "Hey, Alex, can I ask you something?"
Sure. What is it? I was just about to get some wine. Would you like some?
I was looking through our phone bill, and I noticed a lot of calls and messages to and from your ex-girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. We've been talking.
Really? Talking? Why?
It's just catching up.
Catching up on what exactly?
Just talking about life. It's not a big deal.
Stop being so secretive. Why can't you just tell me what you two talked about? Because 15 messages is way more than just catching up.
There's nothing to tell. We talked about old times and what we've been up to lately. It's not like we're planning to get back together or anything.
At this point, I wish I had just stopped the conversation. However, I was triggered and couldn't help myself. Images of them scheming and sneaking around flooded my mind. I started shouting, which surprised us both.
I don't know why you would still want to talk to her even after everything that happened between you two.
Look, it's not like that. We're just friends now. Drop it already.
No, I don't think we can. You're hiding something from me, and I can't trust you.
Sarah, that's not fair. You know I love you and I would never do anything to hurt you.
You love me? So you say, but here you are just ignoring my concerns. I don't like that you're talking to her so much, and I don't like that you're being so secretive about it.
I'm sorry if it seems that way, but I promise you there's nothing going on between us.
I was finally able to calm down a bit. However, my brain was already making plans on how to confirm my suspicions.
You are stressing over something that isn't important. Can we please just move on from this?
Alex, I don't know. I just can't shake this feeling that something's not right.
I understand, but I really need you to trust me on this. Can you do that for me?
I don't know. I really don't know. The next day, I met up with Julie at the cafe that was close to us. Julie had been a close mutual friend of ours. She had been in our life from when I first met Alex. Julie, I don't know what to do. I feel like Alex is pushing me away and turning to his ex for support.
Well, you know what they say, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
What did you mean?
Maybe you should reach out to Emily and try to be friends with her. That way you can keep an eye on her and make sure she's not trying to steal your man.
I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't want to be friends with someone who might be trying to undermine my relationship.
Sarah, trust me. It's better to be safe than sorry. You never know what someone might be capable of.
I guess you're right. I'll give it a try.
That's the spirit. And who knows, maybe I'll get closer to Alex too and see if he's really worth all the fuss.
Whatever.
Just kidding.
You know what though? Actually, that's a great idea. Maybe you should indeed get closer to Alex.
What? Why? Sarah, I was just teasing. Trying to lighten the mood.
Yes. I know. I just want to know if he's really into me or if he's still hung up on Emily. You know him pretty well since you two worked together and were in college together, right? Maybe you can find out if he's trying to cheat on me with her.
Sure, I can try. But I don't think you have anything to worry about. Sarah, Alex is crazy about you.
I hope you're right.
Of course I am. You and Alex are meant to be together. Trust me.
After I left the cafe with Julie, I decided to go for a walk before heading home. I was still feeling flustered with Alex, and there was something deep down inside of me that was asking if maybe the problem was me and not Alex. I walked aimlessly, before ending up where I used to hang out with Greg, my previous partner. The rush of memories blindsided me for an instant. Greg and I had been dating for 2 years, but I started to have doubts. When he presented me with a promise ring, I just had to get out of there. It was around that time that I met Alex, and cheated on Greg. Alex didn't know that I was already in another relationship. What started as a fling quickly escalated, and I had to leave Greg. I couldn't face coming clean, so I told him that I couldn't be with him because we were growing apart. He was gracious and kind. Didn't even raise his voice. So imagine my shock when I ran into him again.
Sarah, is that you?
Greg. Hi, it's been so long.
Yeah, it has. How have you been?
I've been good. How about you?
Can't complain. It's good to see you.
You too.
Listen, Sarah, there's something I've been wanting to tell you.
What?
I know what you did, Sarah. I know you cheated on me.
What? How did you find out? Who told you? Greg. I'm sorry. I was ashamed and tried walking away, but he stepped in front of me, blocking my path. When he reached out and held my shoulders, I felt both afraid and alive. It was electrifying. But I just kept repeating the same words to him. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. He was just calm and patient. While I wished I could just hide from the shame.
It doesn't matter. The point is, Sarah, I still love you. I never stopped.
I wasn't ready for this declaration of love. Especially not in the middle of my own turmoil. I apologized again. My mind was trying to make sense of it all. I honestly didn't mean to, it just happened and I was caught up.
That's not the point, Sarah. The point is, I need to know if you still have feelings for me.
Please don't ask me these kinds of questions. I'm with Alex now. I can't just turn my feelings on and off like that.
I understand. Sarah, just think about it. That's all I ask.
Greg, it was good seeing you again. But I have to go. I took his number and promised to think about it. Then, hurriedly left. I still felt guilty. And now, I was slightly unsure about my feelings for both Greg and Alex. I had gotten in much later than I had planned. I came home and found him waiting on me. For the first time in our 14-month relationship, I truly felt unsafe and unsure of myself. Alex just sat there. Alex, why are you sitting in the dark? Alex?
Where have you been?
Alex. You're scaring me.
Answer the question. Where have you been?
I was just out for a walk. Why do you sound so angry?
Don't play dumb with me. I saw you with Greg earlier.
What? You were spying on me?
I'm not the one cheating here. Are you seeing him again?
Again? I was confused and surprised that he even knew about Greg. He and I had never spoken about Greg. My confusion and guilt turned to anger.
No, I'm not. And how dare you accuse me of cheating? I'm not the one sneaking around, sending messages to his ex-girlfriend.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
Yes, I do. You're just deflecting because you can't handle your own insecurities. I can't believe you would stoop so low as to spy on me and accuse me of cheating without any evidence.
I don't know anything anymore.
What does that mean?
It means I need some space. I can't be with someone who's not honest with me.
The fight instantly left me as I realized I was on the verge of losing him. Alex, don't do this. I'm not seeing anyone else.
I need some time to think.
Before I could say anything else, he grabbed his car keys and was out the door. My calls to Alex's phone just went straight to voicemail. I felt physically ill. For the next 3 days, I tried desperately to re-establish communication with Alex. When I contacted his brother, he said he hadn't seen him, although I suspect that his brother was lying. I had called in sick and thankfully my boss had given me extra time off. I had to get food though. Just after getting back home, two ladies that I didn't know turned up at my door. The first one introduced herself as Emily. The audacity of this woman to turn up here after wrecking my relationship. I was pissed. How dare you, I demanded, cutting her off while she was introducing the other woman, Kathy, or something. I didn't quite get her name. Emily asked if they could come inside and talk and apologized for intruding. I flatly asked her, "Isn't taking my man enough? What more do you want?" She then looked at me and said, "Dear, I don't want Alex, but I know who does. That's what I came to talk to you about. Unless you don't care?" The comment silenced me, and I simply cleared the path and welcomed them into the disaster that was my living room.
I'll be brief, Sarah. Things aren't going well for Alex at work. He recently lost 2 major clients and is at the risk of being fired. He and I have been talking because I play golf with one of the clients. I've been trying to help him get at least one of them back.
But why couldn't he talk to me about it? Why the need to go to you, his ex-girlfriend?
Do you know why he and I broke up, Sarah?
The question was unexpected.
No, I don't know. He found a better girlfriend, I suppose?
Maybe. You are not too bad on the eyes. Kathy, what do you think? She's cute, right?
They smiled and scrutinized me, exchanging knowing nods. That's when it dawned on me. You're gay.
But you were his girlfriend.
Yes, and it's also why I'm no longer his girlfriend.
I was immediately embarrassed. I felt foolish. Then I remembered she said that she knew who was trying to take Alex. So I asked her.
Ah, yes. So the reason why he confided in me was because he didn't know how to approach you. Here, have a look at these.
She slipped me a large envelope and I just dumped it out on the table. My mouth dropped when I saw the photos. I stupidly asked if the photos were real.
Yep.
Then she began explaining why Alex didn't feel comfortable talking with me.
Alex lost the clients because his coworker overcharged them after Alex had finalized the agreement. They felt cheated by Alex, when in fact it was just a greedy coworker. The same coworker who for the last 3 weeks had been trying to add Alex to her list of conquests. She didn't want him in university because he was scrawny and she only used him for her assignments. He's grown quite a bit since. Especially since he's been with you. Now that he's making proper money, hitting the gym and is thinking about settling down.
Now little Miss Julie wants my man. Not if I can help it. After Emily and Catherine left, I felt a mix of emotions, anger, humiliation, and confusion. But as I looked at the photos on the table, I felt something else, a deep sense of betrayal. How could Julie have done this to me? I understand why Alex had gone behind my back and shared our private issues with his ex-girlfriend. I felt like my world had been turned upside down. For the next few days, I didn't know what to do. I felt lost and alone. But then karma happened. On the 4th day after Alex returned and we managed to talk and make up. Julie had been caught red-handed by the company and had been fired immediately. Predictably, she called me later that night, desperately asking me to convince Alex to help her get her job back. She didn't know about Emily's visit or the photos that I'd seen of her text messages and her nudies to Alex. I told her, of course I'd help. It's what good friends do for each other. We discussed ideas about how best to get her back in good graces with her ex-boss. I suggested a private dinner with him at the ultra-exclusive Dutch restaurant, De Sap. She liked the idea and didn't mind spending an extra $3,000 to get an early reservation. For good measure, she reserved the best table in the house that cost her another $1,500. Finally, because she was pulling out all the stops, she went shopping for a sexy, new designer dress and matching shoes, an additional $3,400. I happily accompanied her and even provided her with recommendations. On the night of the meeting, she was dressed fabulously. She arrived early and was directed to her seat. After 25 minutes of waiting for her ex-boss to arrive, she called panicking. She was already on her second glass of wine. It was time to serve the final piece of karma. The Uber showed up right on time and delivered the envelope to the restaurant. It was the same one that Emily had given to me. The maitre d' had been kind enough to hand-deliver the envelope to Julie. Then, I turned off my phone and went to bed. The next morning, I saw that my phone was flooded with messages from Julie. I listened to a few. They were mostly incoherent babble that flipped between angry shouting to tearful apologies. I found it interesting how she tried berating me for setting her up and made her spend all that money, $7,900 in total. The funny part was that she had maxed out her cards and her account would most likely go into overdraft. At this point, I didn't care though. My only response was a single message warning her that if she tried to malign me on social media, I'd release copies of the photos. Afterwards, I blocked her on all my social media platforms. Over the next few weeks, I heard that Julie slowly began to recover. She was devastated. Her career was effectively over. Worst of all, she had lost her passion for life because she lost her dream job and would have to start over. From afar, I watched her struggle to come to terms with her new reality, and I couldn't help but feel a sense of karmic justice. I didn't relish punishing her for her deceit and betrayal, and as much as I wanted to revel in her misfortune, I knew that it was wrong to feel that way. I realized that I had to forgive her and move on with my life, knowing she was no longer a part of it.
Friends, we've come to the end of another tea time. How the tables turned in this one. So after dating for 14 months, Sarah and Alex have gotten even closer together because their relationship survived this ordeal. Sarah's past deeds were exposed, which created an opportunity for them to get counseling to deal with her own insecurities. And who would have thought that Sarah would have found such an ally in Alex's ex-girlfriend Emily? It must have hurt so much to then discover that the source of her drama was coming from someone so close to her. Julie was the actual fraud. Also, Greg should probably move on with his life. Maybe he and Julie should hook up? Do you think Sarah went too far making Julie spend all that money? Please share your thoughts in the comment. It just goes to show that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Alex and Sarah should be better off now with Julie out of their life. Thanks for watching. See you next week for the next episode of Tea Time.